I struggle with this word multimedia, I have to tell you. I mean, it's been a part of my career since, the mid-90s. I've been associated with the word multimedia, and I've watched that word change in meaning, over the last 20 years.
The world of photography is changing dramatically because of the creativity that technology is allowing it. So suddenly photographers are able to make films, and filmmakers are able to tell the stories and make the films they weren't previously able to.
A few years back, there was a trend to really kind of asking the journalists themselves to go out and create multimedia. So it was a matter of taking a print journalist and giving them a camera and saying, okay, go create multimedia.
And they said to their still photographers, give us your still camera, here's your video camera, go make multimedia. And it was a disaster because there was no training. We took the one tool away from our industry that we really know how to use, and we gave them another tool that they were not given any training around, and it's a different vocabulary, it's a different ethos that you apply to video.
Currently, the Wall Street Journal, they're asking all their journalists to just become multimedia journalists. Whereas at The Economist, we have a division of labor, so we have the print journalists, and then we have a separate multimedia department that we are fully charged with kind of doing everything related to making multimedia.
I think it would be a mistake to see filmmaking and photography as two completely separate art forms. They both inform each other, but photography is a key element of all filmmaking, through light, through composition, through the sense of narrative. And great filmmaking is also great photography.
Just in the last couple of years, I think video became more real to our industry because the same cameras we're using to shoot stills now shoot high definition video. And everyone said, that's coming, that's coming. Well, it's here, but the training hasn't been put in place for people to understand the new language of video, because it's different language.
The moving image and the still image are two ways of telling stories which can be made now with one piece of equipment. We're now looking at a situation where we have a camera with two buttons. They both allow you to tell different stories in different ways.
The same way still photographers have always tried to do that through photography. We still love photography, we still want to use that as a tool, but we just think there's other tools at our disposal to take that same kind of idea and pull it into a video space.
The storytelling, of course, in China is different. When we started teaching, we realized China is a totally different beast. And a lot of the methodologies that we are used to outside China is not really applicable in China. China is big, there are many stories, some very strange, some not so strange, but some really very strange.
在中国比较主流的几家都市报的摄影部，以及他的摄影部的部主任来发动的。那么在网站的在门户网站里头，因为商业门户网站也只有中国才有，那么中国的这5家商业门户网站，腾讯网。
I'd like to see an understanding that the terms that we're currently using, such as photography, video, and filmmaking, are attached to processes which are no longer relevant. Digital capture has forced us to reconsider these terms. And from my perspective, I think there needs to be an understanding within the photographic community that the moving image, to my mind, is no more than a contact sheet come to life.
Multimedia, which again, I don't know what that word means anymore. We just call it storytelling now. We just say we tell stories. That's what we do. We use every different type of media we can to best tell the story.
I'm a really big believer fundamentally in the product. I think everything starts with the product, whether you're doing bicycles or you're doing storytelling. I mean, you might have an amazing marketing vehicle, but if your product doesn't make value for somebody, then you can't market or develop business models around that. You won't succeed.
那么实际上我们是一直秉承的就是南方都市报优质新闻的音视频化这个一个原则。那么就是使得南方都市报的平面媒体的这种优质内容，让它音视频化，从单一的这种报纸的这种载体，进入到这种立体可多项传播的这种渠道，包括这个像互联网啊，这个微博啊、电视台啊与电台，和他们进行这种充分的合作，与延展这个南方都市报的它的新闻的这个影响力。
I think the ideal world, and it's not one that we're able to see every day, is where there's a story that is playing itself out in front of the lens.
It's us covering a story the same way we would as a still photographer, and then having that one interview with a subject who can really tell you in their own words what their story is, as opposed to us writing those words or us having a beautiful broadcast person stand in front of someone and say, this is what's happening. Well, why don't we just hear from that person what's happening in their story?
Rather than us telling a story, it's sort of the story telling itself, or at least having that effect on people as motion happens and sound comes in front of the camera, and it's edited in a way that has a narrative structure with whatever modicum of narration is needed to connect the dots.
自己的本质就你先把内容做好，让用户和这些网站非常喜欢、愿意购买你的东西，你能形成自己的品牌。
There's three main things that are being produced. There are videos, or film, you could call them, and there's slideshows, which is basically just still images, and sometimes they have audio and you can flip through them. And then there's what I call interactives.
一般来讲，我们在遇到一个大的选题之后，我们通常会完成5种不同的产品。第一个是我们首先还是要有传统的图文报道，这个图片的表达形式一定要精彩，文本的写作也是要讲好故事，这是一个传统的形式。第二个，我们会有这个社区互动，就是微博和 Twitter 这样的这种互动型社区的这样的报道，我们会让记者在微博和 Twitter 上面进行一些新闻的直播的报道，这是一种尝试。第三种是短的视频和长的视频。那么 multimedia 这种形式只是在我们第三种这种载体中间，短的形式。
A large amount of documentaries being made. In the UK, there is a real move towards telling stories. I think what we're talking about here is lens-based media for photographers. Whether the image be moving or still is a choice as to what's appropriate to the story that needs to be told.
The problem with digital stories is that it's a integration of a lot of things: text, audio, video, you name it, images, and there's no tool to integrate it. So obviously you'll be producing in different software and pieces of this puzzle, different elements. I mean, you'll be producing text in Word probably. Video in another software package, images in Photoshop, and the thing is, how do you integrate them?
Vimeo and YouTube and those two really big drivers, you have an instant channel and you have an instant audience, and it's really easy to put together. Almost anybody can take iMovie or Final Cut and throw some stuff together.
In order to get someone to watch something, you need to be able to have a compelling headline and thumbnail image that a person will say, oh yeah, there's a story that I need to watch. The thumbnail picture is a huge part of that. I think it's kind of an obvious thing to say, but it's also incredibly important. Sort of the basics of web and digital publishing generally are that you need those two editorial elements that are also promotional to help pull someone into a story.
As the market changes, that what we'll see is those media organizations realizing the real value of the multimedia in terms of their new strategies, and then starting to invest more in that. So generally speaking, it's been mainly long form up until this point, but I'm seeing more and more move towards short form multimedia productions that can be done in a short period of time, 1 or 2 days. Certainly in the English Chinese media where I'm working, that short form is becoming very much the norm rather than the previous long form pieces.